a maintenance schedule, and then how do you inspect a bag house or see if you've got issues? Is there a couple like basic things that we can mention here? I think we could probably send a link to our inspection checklist. I think we already sent the maintenance schedule. What about identifications of defects? Dominic, you want to just hit real quick on leak testing or in basic visual inspection?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking, I was thinking probably the biggest thing, Scott can attest to you as well, Matt, when we do inspections, like the number one thing, it's so common if we just keep it on our report template because it's always applicable, is verifying that the differential pressure readings are accurate. Um, Almost every single plant we go to has some problem with the differential pressure readings, where it's just part of how that system works, that those little tubes get filled with dust or the gauge gets fouled or something. So first thing we do, we have to establish if we can trust the readings or not. And if you don't have a regular PM to blow out the airlines, verify maybe every month or every 3 months that the gauge is working, by connecting another gauge that to verify. If you don't do that, we can't trust any of the differential pressure numbers you give us. And then a lot of times that's the only variable or it's the only monitoring metric we have to know how things are working. So I would say the most important thing is spend your time making sure those DP readings are accurate and collecting them. And then what you're talking about with leak testing, that's very good. You should have on hand we recommend enough powder to do two tests. So enough to do it with two different colors. That way you can have like a follow-up test after you've done some work after your initial one. But yeah, that's simple. That process is very simple. We have a guide on our website. Maybe Andy can put it in the chat below. You just go to our website under leak detection supplies and testing. It's there as well. We inject the powder upstream of the baghouse. We go in with a black light looking for holes. Most cases, the hole is obvious enough when you go from the top and look at the clean side of the dust collector with the black light. Sometimes, and this is something people usually get wrong, sometimes you have to go on the dirty side and shine the light down there because sometimes the hole is only visible from the bottom. And people might, miss that key part and say, oh, I did the test, I didn't find anything. But everybody should be familiar with how to do the test, how to inject the powder, because it really should be a regular thing. If you've only got one person that's like the expert on that and he might not be there all the time, you really should get some other people trained to do that because it's really something you should have at hand ready to do whenever you have a suspicion that there's a problem.
Definitely. And yeah, there's more info on our website too. If you have particular issues with your dust collector, you can find a lot of info, including how to do the leak tests, some inspection procedures, and stuff like that.